You're about to listen to TADPOG, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. Tyler and Dave play old games. This week, I was sad. I was very sad.
Why?
We drew a football game. I was sad
You
initially.
love football games.
The football
What the
game,
fuck?
but then I realized, it's a football game. We get to have Dennis on.
I know.
Lord Mulaney Dennis.
And he didn't show up.
And boy, did he get sad then. And then he was fucking miserable.
Two miserable old guys play football games. And also Dennis.
Yeah. You guys got me back out of the trunk that you keep me in.
The Dennis
Blocking
trunk.
the sound of the air conditioner.
We got a Dennis steamer trunk, and we got a Josh Kryl in the back.
Dennis gives me a bunch of shit over the AC. The whole AC debacle.
I don't.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you do.
I originally just tried to make him feel better about it. And then he got super defensive. I'm like, dude, I was just saying don't worry so much.
That is a well with no bottom. Don't throw your words down.
Me get defensive about something that I'm a perfectionist about? I don't understand.
Like evidently that's Dave's trigger word is like air
AC,
conditioner.
yeah. You're not too far off.
I feel like this is the point where there'd be a flashback of like Dave's dad, a montage of him slapping Dave.
I'm like going to press the thermostat.
Exactly. Smack, smack, smack.
It's like a great Santini. Like Dave tries to touch it, and then he's walking up the stairs. His dad hitting a basketball in his head. You gonna cry a little? You can't touch that AC. You gonna cry? You gonna squirt a little bit? Huh?
This is getting a little too close to home. Can we please talk about the game?
Wouldn't it just be his dad yelling quiet?
Look, guys, my dad has a very good sounding audio podcast, so like if we could just at least be as good as that one, I would appreciate it.
Well, you can go upstairs, look at pornography with dicks in it. Is that what you're gonna do? Is that what you're gonna do? Huh? No?
I mean, porn with dicks in it is kind of the best porn. So yeah.
Is it just people named Dick, or is it? How do you mean by porn?
No, just like with like
Legitimate
hard
hard
erect
wieners.
cocks. Yeah.
Because
just naked ladies he's good with.
like I got
Not dick in there.
Not dick.
I'm the type of contrarian that, like, I'm not into anal. But, yeah, maybe I am, but like huge,
Right, go on.
huge breast, whatever. But if like there was, if I was in the
Those are
porn,
your two examples:
Yeah.
anal and huge breasts.
I don't know, what else is there, right? Anyway, like if there was a porn there that was like people named Dick fucking, I'd be like, I want that one. That is fucking because at the
What
end
if
of the
you
day,
looked at the cover and it was just like
ugly people,
just the ugliest people you could possibly, or relatives?
Well, then I would just take a relative.
Yeah, they're like, oh man, but I really want to watch it.
Yeah. I didn't even know I was related to any dicks.
It's not even my hot relatives. God.
Oh wait, he's not really named Dick. I'm out.
Rich?
Well, this week, courtesy of the randomizer, we are talking about Bill Walsh College Football.
Bill Walsh College Football.
The excitement is palpable.
You can feel it in the room. Really, it's like crackling, like a sparkler.
Yeah.
I mean, both of you. The table is not even, legs aren't touching the floor. Just they're on each end holding it up with their erect penises.
It's true.
Well, I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and I pretty much got to chill this weekend, but before that, I didn't really talk about it when we went. Shit, where'd we go?
Is this a guessing game? Hopkinsville.
Okay. We
The
went-
Limp Bizkit concert.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'll go. Yeah, have money on Limp Bizkit.
I wish Taryn buys all those up pretty quick.
Limp Bizkit.
We, because Jack had a specialist allergy appointment at Vanderbilt. So we went and got night of the election. We got an Airbnb in Nashville. place called the Historic Birdhouse. It's actually a super cool little Airbnb where we
Sure
stayed.
you weren't in Portland?
Well, just put a bird. There were a lot of birds. Just put a bird on it.
It's
Was the
just a place
philosophy of
where
that.
women hung out in the 20s.
British women.
Birds.
If there weren't a lot of birds there, though, I feel like you'd probably feel a little let down. I would.
Yeah. We were just sitting there together, constantly checking our phones for election results. Like, what's going on now? What's going on now? What's going on now?
You did the same thing I did at home.
And then Brady Jr. asking me, okay, what if Biden wins this one and this one and this one? I was like, yeah, he could win that one and that one and that one, and then we'd be good. Okay. He's not leading any of these.
Right.
Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't feel good.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But the next morning, Jack had his allergist appointment, and his pediatrician didn't write the orders right. So all the stuff we wanted to get done basically didn't happen. They just gave him the most basic allergy test. He was supposed to get the full gamut.
Yeah.
Did not. So we know he's allergic to dust and dogs.
They just like blew some dust on him.
He didn't like that.
No.
Allergic.
Check. there's just a big sheet of paper, one sheet of paper per check box. Dust. Got it. Big check.
Because like you saw where she took like a rolling thing of needles and then just rolled it up his back.
Like
And you
a,
had, yeah, it looked like
like a pin cushion?
a little bit, only like a paint roller, only it had needles on it with different things on it. Just
Don't worry, this will just poke your baby real hard.
Yeah,
Don't worry,
yep.
It's normal. It's normal. He'll bleed a lot.
no, this is a Hellraiser tool. They love it.
He hasn't been like messing around with any like
it's-
weird cubes or anything, has he?
Just a Cinnabite massager. It's all.
This was Vanderbilt and not like a 17th century barber, right?
I'm sorry, this was Vandy Build.
Vanderbilt Castle. You know?
Barber and surgery. So he's mildly allergic to dust and dogs, and then not raw eggs because he had an allergy, like little reaction. Whenever we had a spatula, made some eggs, he grabbed the spatula, and whenever he touched it to his face, it kind of raised up. a
Oh
little bit.
yeah, wow.
So we want to have him tested more for that.
Sure.
Because supposedly that comes and goes. And they're like, oh, cooked eggs is a different test. We're not going to feed him raw eggs like you tested for us.
No,
Can
just raw eggs.
Can we test the cooked eggs? No, it's a different test. You don't have orders for that. Okay.
Sorry, we only have the Rocky test here.
Right? Was that your pediatrician's fault, or was that just the hospital being like?
The pediatrician didn't write the orders correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't find out anything like we wanted to find out. But we went to the Parthenon in Nashville. I'd never been to the Parthenon.
Oh yeah,
So that was fun.
it's there.
yeah.
That's how I feel about
It's
it.
no Cincinnati Sign Museum, but it was all right.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What have you been up to?
This is the first time I've been out of the house with two other people since the last time I hung out with you.
When we recorded Madden.
Yeah. That's what I've been up to. I've been in with two other people, but they're both under the age of 7, or 7 and 2, not 2 yet. I don't know whose kids they are.
They were just there one day.
Yeah.
They came with the house.
It's like,
I thought
COVID,
they'd
I
leave.
can't let them go.
keep trying to keep up with them. No, so I've just grown completely incapable of watching anything because I think I've seen it. I've got
Like
to
shows,
the
you
end
mean,
of-
or
What's that?
like watching what?
Oh, all of it.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Shapes,
It's
colors.
It's almost like I definitely have become more putty like during this.
yeah,
just
yeah.
staring at the back of a chair. You need something? Nope.
Nope.
Yeah. Because it's just like, man, I mean, it started where, you watch your shows and then you, like the stuff you always wanted to catch up on. And then those ran out real super fast. And then it was like, what else can I watch? And then at some point you get sick of watching TV at all. And then nothing is on anymore, even if you weren't sick of watching, because they can't make anything. So it's gotten to a point where it's just like, for me, I do a lot of staring.
Got a paint can, do something on the wall, just watch it dry.
I mean, honestly, I stare more into space, like, because I sit in the sunrooms a lot, or I sit on the porch.
You got a nice
Right.
sunroom.
Yeah, so I'm just watching nothing or my kids, it seems like. I watch a lot of Sesame Street. Elmo's still crazy as fuck.
That fucking Mr. Noodle can't do a goddamn thing.
Cookie is really, I mean, considering the kind of addict he is, he's controlling himself.
You know, his original
he even
name
started
is Sid.
a small business.
His original name is Sid.
Sid. Before he had a cookie and became addicted and became the Cookie Monster, his name was Sid.
His name was Sid.
Was he in a
Sid.
punk band?
Probably.
When did he have his first cookie?
Oh, he's like a baby.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen the documentation.
He's a cookie baby? Boy, that's heavy.
That's a lot to unpack. I don't know that I'm ready. Is this Halloween goodies on the table
Melissa
here?
came back here and she brought us some treats.
Oh,
so
man.
she baked. The muffins are color coded to flavor. I do not remember the color coding system,
Perfect.
but they make
Thank God
sense.
she did it.
She took the time to do it. You took the time to forget it.
Yeah,
Okay.
she filled the fridge. She brought us some snacks. It was very nice.
Who's a Melissa?
I have been up to not a whole lot since we talked on Friday. That's kind of like the problem, I guess, about like recording a Patreon episode, which we did on Friday with Usurper Grimm.
Didn't they good in the last 2 days?
Right. Not really. Nothing's really changed. I don't know. I can't remember if I told the story about Henry getting sick and how I got sick. I feel like I did because I'm still getting over that.
Yeah.
And how they we had a nice little freak out where they're
Yeah.
like, well, we think it's strep. But kids aren't really showing all the signs of COVID, so we're gonna go ahead and test for that. And it's like, oh boy, fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it is things like that is to where you have a guy, you're watching the guy on TV that's on every channel tell you, don't let it rule your life. And meanwhile, we're all living with I sneezed today and I cried for 2 hours. I can't survive this. We all know it.
So he's okay. Henry's no COVID, no strep throat either, which they thought just a cold that he woke up
that's
from like Michelangelo. Did somebody say pizza? The next morning he woke up like that, and I've been struggling with it for a week now.
And
To
you guys
where-
are virtual again too, right?
Yeah, we're all virtual now, starting today.
The girls are doing that next week, I think. So,
all virtual
yeah.
learning. So
like Johnny Mnemonic.
yeah, exactly like Johnny Mnemonic. Actually, that's what we do.
So all your kids are going to turn into Max Headroom and
What do you turn it into?
go into the internet tubes.
Right? Lawnmower Man. That's all Henry and I do. We just watch Johnny Mnemonic all day.
4 years ago, that joke I wouldn't have had to say at the end is that's not how it works. But now there's at least 38% of you that we have to tell you.
Why are all the virtual learning? Why is it not done through Palace Chat?
They grade you on your avatar, so
You get
You
to
have
pick
to-
your own. You get to dress in your Jinkos.
you have to have your Jinkos and your Tommy Hilfiger carpenter jeans.
In Kentucky,
and
it's only on Parlor.
Which we don't. We're trying to.
exclusively on Parlor.
We were trying to figure out right before we recorded what the fuck Parlor is. I still don't know.
I'm just worried about someone randomly saying something too scientific and the schools around here freaking out. I'm just
Gluing documents together.
Yeah, exactly. You
my
can't
seventh grade science book.
It's just I'm going to come back down and all the kids' cell phones are going to be glued together. We didn't know what else to do.
At least no 5G towers have been taken down, as far as I know.
Because nobody knows what they are.
Oh, we don't have it here. There's also that.
Well, I don't know. I don't got anything else.
I was supposed to bring packages, but I forgot them. We got a shitload of packages.
I actually did prepare a little
Yeah?
something
Oh,
for
You got a thing?
yeah.
And I think I can send it to either your guys' phone or you can just take mine and read it half and half. But this is a list of the 25 funniest names that I could find on live NFL rosters.
These are real. These
These are real people.
names.
Some of these, a lot of these people don't sound weird to me because
because you've heard them a billion times.
and they're talented players.
Yeah. So is this kind of like a quiz, or can we say these names correctly as well? Because
Yeah, I honestly, some of them I don't know if I can say correctly, and I want to see if you can announce yourself. Let's just straight up steal from the what's those two guys,
Key and Peele.
Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Just you two be players. Try to announce yourself for Monday Night Football and read these off, and I'll let Dave start.
All right. You were sure you don't want Tyler to start?
Either way, it's your show. You decide.
Prince Amakumara. Did I say that right?
Amukamara.
Amukamara. Amakumara is a Naruto character. I forgot. I get confused all the time.
Is he a prince? Maybe that's how he got his name.
Close. He's about as close as you can
He
get.
played for the Bears for a long time.
Yeah?
For a few years, so he's a good player.
McTelvin Agim?
I don't know.
All right. Vontae's Perfect.
Vontez Perfect. That's the.
Oh, yeah,
that's
Perfect.
Your guys' best friend.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's why I brought this on my phone.
I remember Perfect, but I don't remember Von.
All
Vontez?
these guys
Vontez.
at one point played college football.
Okay,
so that's
right.
The connection.
Okay, sure. All these guys at one point gave Bill Walsh a back rub.
And apparently about 7% of them beat the shit out of their girlfriends. That's fucking dark.
That's just numbers, man. I don't have any control over that. That's just the numbers.
Is that one of the stats they list during the games?
Sabermetrics. Yeah. He's really gone down in this department. I think it really
Ooh.
shows leadership.
Just like wrestlers and murders, just what happens. Traumatic head injuries.
And steroids.
And
That's-
steroids.
Don't forget that. Yeah.
So some of these names are bold and some of them are not.
Oh,
What's-
no. It's
okay.
just me pasting.
Okay. Tyus Bowser. That's a Mario
Nice.
character.
Right? When I saw it, I was like, is that a Mario character?
BJ Bello?
I just thought it was funny that
The BJ?
the BJ
Yeah,
and
of
the
course.
bellow, like you're bellowing a blowjob,
Willie Beavers.
Just makes me laugh.
No.
Willie Beavers.
Willie
Nice.
Beavers.
What number is he?
I don't know.
69.
I hope.
For the first time ever in NFL history, we're going to issue a 3-digit jersey number, 420. Brandon Crecelius?
Cornelius, I think.
Cornelius?
Cornelius, is that what it is?
I don't know.
Chrysagram?
Chrysagram? Jadavon Clowney?
Jadavian Clowney.
Jadavian Clowney.
And
okay.
he's actually like a very talented player, like one
Yeah.
of the best defensive players in the NFL. But yeah, it's just like an insane name. Who comes up with it?
I expect you to reprimand us like he's actually a very talented player.
No, not at all.
Some respect, please.
No.
Okay, I don't believe this is actually this person's name. Number 9 on the list. I think you might.
I did not make any of these up.
Were you using like voice to text or anything?
Nope.
Because the name is Clinton Dix.
Yeah. Played it for Alabama, Green Bay, and Chicago. I don't know if
Clinton
that's
Dix.
his Christian name, but that's the one he goes by. And Dix in the name.
The one
You
the
can't beat
Joker
that.
gave him.
I feel like is pretty funny, but when there's dicks there too.
Yeah, Clinton Dix.
Laughing at your dicks,
It's like that Simpsons. It's like, what's his name, laughing at Monica Lewinsky. Clinton Dix.
Nelson.
Yeah.
Laurent Duvernay Tardif.
He is Canadian, apparently.
Yeah.
So maybe he's from Montreal? I don't know.
I don't know. Javelin Goudry?
I just couldn't believe there was a dude named
Javelin? Yeah, it does. It sounds
I like that.
Yeah.
It's almost like, Brick from Ron Burgundy name.
yeah.
Anchorman.
I killed a man with a trident.
Yeah, exactly. Javelin.
Ishmael Hyman.
That's a Jewish sex worker.
Bo Pete Keys.
I couldn't believe that first name was real.
Bo Pete.
Bo Pete. Little Bo Pete.
Tyler's turn. That was 13 for me.
All right, so 14. Barcavius Mingo.
Barcavius. That's my paladin dog's name. Come to me, Barcavius.
He's a current Bears player.
Yeah.
I like this one. Hercules Mataafa.
Hercules is really good. What was the last name again?
Hercules Mataafa.
I think he might be Hawaiian.
Yeah.
But still Hercules.
Hercules, yeah.
That's a bold prediction.
Hercules.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is the name of my half-elf bard.
I'm sorry, but I like the idea that they named him that not for strength, but because they like the Nutty Professor movie.
Hercules Mataafa.
We have two options. We really like the Nutty Professor. We can name him Montel or Hercules.
So my Bard Vintner, Sheldrick Red Wine.
Sheldrick red wine. Is it WYNE?
No, W-I-N-E, red wine. And here's my horse druid, Equinemius St. Brown.
Equinemius.
Equinemius, I think.
Equinemius.
I think.
Tis the age of Equinimus.
And then Juju Smith-Schuster.
That's not real.
My brother
that's
dated a
real.
Juju.
He's a
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
star receiver for the Steelers.
Star receiver?
Star, yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster.
Tuzar Skipper.
I don't know.
Gilligan's
who he is.
I
Island?
dig it. I'm familiar with this guy, Golden Tate.
Golden Tate.
I drafted him to my fantasy football team.
Oh, yeah.
He sounds delicious.
Odell Beckham saved my ass when I drafted him.
It sounds like a British thing to me, of where when instead of saying they want like crispy potatoes, give me a Golden Tate.
Give me a Golden Tate
You know what I mean? Doesn't it kind of?
and a boat race.
All right.
And then brother to Jamiroquai, Jaquiski Tart.
Jaquiski tart.
And then a French lord from the 16th century, Marquez Valdez Scantling.
All right. Sounds like a fleshman.
Candyland villain, Greedy Williams.
Greedy Williams.
Greedy Williams
Is his name really
of
Greedy?
the Licorice Forest.
That's really gonna hurt him when he goes like negotiate his contract.
Oh shit! Here comes
yeah.
Greedy.
And then, all right, O'Shane Zimenez. O'Shane Zimenez.
I don't know.
And then someone straight up from the Bible, Olamide Zacchaeus. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
For some reason, my favorite is Ishmael Hyman.
Ishmael Hyman's pretty good.
I mean, I don't know what he looks like, and I don't ever want to. Do you know
Oh,
what
I was about to say we can
Like,
fix that.
In my own mind, I feel like he's a football player with the like he's a
He'll die.
He's a Hasidic Jew who also is an NFL star.
Well, don't they have
It's
their?
not impossible.
they have
it's
their
just
team, right?
unlikely, you know? Yeah, not.
Doesn't each religion have its own football team? I thought that
its
was
own kind of Hyman.
yeah. I mean, the Navy and the Army, they have football teams, right? Why don't the Christians, the Jews, the Muslims? I don't.
You're
understand.
right. You're right. If that guy goes horseback riding, he might die.
So, like Christianity would have to have a whole bunch of divisions.
Yeah. I think that is what the SEC is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just levels of Baptist.
I understood that reference.
Yeah, that's a
and
joke.
some Catholics because LSU. you
Sure,
know.
right.
But I mean, all the other schools do look down on them.
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah.
Well, you want to talk about Bill Walsh College Football?
Not really.
I'm always
Yeah, me
ready
neither.
to talk about it.
You ready to talk about Bill Walsh?
Ready to have Dennis talk about football?
Let's just turn this into like, three men thirsty over an old football coach. God, those sweaters, they were so tight. The cold air and his tense nipples.
The steam in the air from their hot bodies. It's like their souls yearning for release.
Hyman's taut with frigid air.
Todd Hyman's. The scent of Todd Hyman's was heavy in the air.
I don't think I'll ever start a band, but if I do, it's going to be Todd Hyman. Man, those
What if
guys
you're-
fucking thrash.
What if you're dressed like professors? Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear
Do you hear all
that.
those Todd Hymans out on the field?
Yeah. Hey, man, if Anal Cunt's a band, and so can Todd Hyman. So.
Of course, that springing leads in a segment that we like to call Bill Walsh reads from Wikipedia.
We're going to, now let's hold hands. and chant.
Oh, was he dead?
Yeah.
We should have done a seance for
Yeah,
Halloween.
exactly. We seance Bill Walsh, and this will be #1 podcast for sure.
That's the episode title. Seance with Bill Walsh.
I mean, we could just fake it I mean, it's not like it's super hard to make people fucking believe things anymore. Evidently, we just got to get the right asshole to say it. We're fucking rich.
I could be that asshole. Bill Walsh College Football is an American football video game released for the Super NES, Genesis, and Sega CD. It is one of the earliest video games to deal with the sport at a college level and is built around the fame of coach Bill Walsh. The game was followed by a sequel, Bill Walsh College Football 95. It doesn't say this right in the description, but it is really important to mention that this game was developed by Electronic Arts. When you start the game, it does show on the screen EA Sports. Unfortunately, they don't give you that sweet, sweet release of saying EA Sports. It's in the game, but
Yeah, it's not in the game yet.
you're allowed to say it in your head. They won't hold that against you.
Yeah, it's like just garbled, like fan noise, but in the sound of that, so you can garble it along with it. Like Bubble Bibble, which was double dribble on the
Right, yeah. Wow.
Bubble Bibble.
You're bringing me back.
I mean, two country kids at about 13 years old sitting in the country playing that game. You're going to say it over and over
Yeah.
for 1,000 years, and that's what me and Tony did.
Sure.
Just walking around randomly, bubble
Bubble
bibble,
bibble.
and everybody thought we were, special.
It came out for the Genesis in 1993, and then the Sega CD in 93, and then 94 for the Super NES. And Dennis, you're on specifically because obviously you're a big football fan, but also you have a history with this game in particular, right?
Yeah, I got this game, I think, for Christmas, and it wasn't even necessarily one that I had asked for. I was still at a point where I was just happy to have it.
So you had this game.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't realize
had.
this.
Yeah, I owned it. Tony never owned it. He might have rented the SNES version, but I had a Sega. Tony
Okay.
had. So I played the Sega, or we played the Sega Genesis version, and like no more game. We probably played no game more than this one, I would say.
This was the game.
Yeah, that me and Tony played a lot. Like there was we played Street Fighter a lot at his house, but if he was at mine, we were playing a lot of Bill Walsh because I had it. That's about the size of it.
Did you have any of the Madden games as well? And you guys kind of chose this one over the Madden games? or-
I hadn't had any of the Madden games yet, but Tony had a friend who was, and I mean, he was my friend too, but more Tony's, Nate, who also became a doctor. Jesus Christ. Just to let you know how poorly I'm doing. But like, Nathan was one of those kids who was like spoiled, but in a good way. They just gave him everything. He had every gaming system.
Spoiled, but not spoiled rotten.
Yeah. Like I had friends that were both. So I'm not gonna say anything bad about the other one, but like Nathan just had like a lot of stuff. It was just the cool kid that had everything.
Yeah.
And so Tony, I think at one point borrowed it, or maybe his brother had somebody borrowed the gaming system, and we played Madden. And then I bothered my dad for a summer. And he finally bought me a Sega, but I only had the Sonic that came with it. And then I'm pretty sure for Christmas I got this game that was just like it was what made it so unique is like for a collector now probably is that it came with index cards.
The Bill Walsh
Yeah, the
game
Bill Walsh
did. Yeah,
did.
you sent me a screenshot earlier of like one complete in box. And
Yeah, and the index cards were almost as thick as the box, and it was like vacuum sealed together.
and they were stats for the
They were
teams?
from so on top, because they didn't have rights for the colleges yet, so they would just say like it was a geography lesson because it would be like State College, where the hell is that, or College Station. I mean, I literally know these places because of
the game.
Provo, Utah, BYU, SC was Southern Cal, and little by little, it's like, and then I watched a video where a guy talked about this, and this is something I did too, is on those mini boring days that life has, I'm sitting there as a kid, you just read through those cards.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Because it was a time before stats on a game.
Yeah.
And this was like literally had stats with it. And what made it cool was EA Sports. I didn't know this then, but they would test things kind of more on the college level before they gave it to their big star Madden things to see how it would work and if people would like it.
Cool.
One of them, the biggest one on this, which made a lot of sense because college ran the option and pro didn't, and you can run the option on this. But and what that
Run the option.
and run the option, what that means
You
is
probably explained this to us last time.
no,
Sorry.
not at all. So the option is a type of offense that, at its simplest forms, like back in '95 and way before, was a quarterback runs around the edge or runs as a running back runs next to him, and he has the options to pitch it
Yeah.
or run himself.
I ran some of those plays when I
Yes,
played this
exactly.
game.
So, like, the option was something that Madden didn't have, and it was like we were kids who played playground football at school, and me and Tony, and like I actually had already played football by this point, like before high school, and like so like we liked running all those kind of
Sure.
the fact that you could do more. And I was also, like, I'm a crazy Bears fan. I was a crazy Notre Dame and am a crazy Notre Dame fan. So I was South Bend, obviously, because might have been how I found out where Notre Dame was. It was literally because those cards that came with this game.
So, running the option, I've got a question about that. Is that just something that like doesn't happen a lot in the NFL? Like, is that specifically like more like a college thing?
It
or-
started to happen more in the NFL, and the reason that it used to not work as well because the quarterbacks weren't athletic enough to pull it off.
I see.
Especially as you get to the pro level, you're not like you're playing the best player from every college team.
Right. Well, look, we can't all be Ishmael Hyman. Let's face it.
So you're playing 11 Ishmael Hymans.
Right.
And I mean, they're good.
They're real good.
Yeah. And one Javadi and Clowney. And, no, so like the speed is just so much greater that trying to run it, by the time you pitch it, that guy shit, he might take it.
Right, yeah.
But now quarterbacks have become better at running, and in the NFL there still is this to a degree. There's like a trying to protect the quarterback.
Right, yeah.
I mean, this is somebody you're paying $30-40 million.
Right.
You don't want him running while a guy that's 250 pounds runs 20 miles an hour hits him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the option just stayed in college more, and then little like the Kansas City Chiefs guy, and then the Lamar Jacksons. I always forget the best quarterback or player in football right now. I never remember his name, but that type of offense has now reached, but it's changed. Now it's more like the run pass option. So now not only can you pitch, but there's a chance that he can throw, and so that's
The quarterback, you mean?
Quarterback,
Right, okay.
yeah. So, and that's something they've tried to work into Madden, and I haven't played enough of the new Madden to use it a lot, and it's still kind of clunky.
Yeah.
But this game worked in a way that was like, at least at this point, was like, it seemed too slow when you looked at it, but at least like it was accurate. Like it seemed like the players did get to each, like sometimes in these games they had a problem with size and speed.
Yeah.
So it's like you'd get this little bitty sprite of a guy that moved 1,000 miles an hour.
I'm so glad you used the word sprite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, my heart's full right now.
Yeah, I learned that from watching you.
I love
Okay.
it. I love it, man. I do. I love it. I love it.
Tables lifted up
Yeah.
again.
Table lifted up about 2 inches.
If he talks about a crafting system, I'm fucking done.
Yeah. Oh man, a football game with a good crafting system?
Doesn't Madden have that?
I don't think so. Like we make footballs and stuff, like +1 footballs and
Oh.
Made slowly deflated football so your team does better. Yeah.
right.
A wind crystal deflated football. Pretty good.
Yeah, okay, now I know what crafting is. I've even done it on that game. I just know what it was called. That game, I don't even know the name of my own game. Battle Chasers, whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
I think there's crafting in it.
Oh yeah. That makes
Almost
sense.
sure I've done it poorly.
Yeah. That's the Joe Mad. That's the Joe Mad game,
Which is
right?
why I played it.
Yeah, I love Joe
Which
Mad's art.
I think you said Tyler said something about this the last time we talked about that. Is like since and I watched the biography of Joe Mad, I think you might have watched it before me. Kind of like how he got into comics. Was that you or not?
I don't think it was me.
Well, it was somebody, and you guys should watch it because never has there been a guy that more haphazardly was successful.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
There's no doubt he's the most talented. He's a truly
Yeah,
talented
he's an
guy.
amazing artist,
An
yeah.
amazing artist. So But it's like even amazing artists have to like find their way. This guy just like happened into it. He just walked into like his mom sent him to this school, and the school's like, you know what, you should get like an internship at this place, which was Marvel. He's like, I almost didn't do it. And I went, and then I drew some, but I wasn't sure what it was. And then it's like, then I didn't do comics anymore because I was late all the time. So then I just started making video games. You're like, who is this fucking guy?
That sounds like he's probably in a pretty good space.
It's like Harrison Ford. I just making cabinets. And then
it's almost like
a movie, and I hate it.
It's like seeing a guy that doesn't like he doesn't live here. How did you get to this spot?
What documentary is this? I want to watch this.
It was something I saw on YouTube, and I think it might have been by the Sci-Fi Channel or something.
Wow. Is it all just about him, or is it a bunch of different comic book artists?
It was just an interview, and then
gotcha.
At some point, like he's just describing like how he got into comics.
Cool.
I'll have to look it up, and I'll send it to you. But it's a little frustrating, especially if you're like going through a hard time at work. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
If you're someone who worked hard to get where you're trying to get to, don't watch this.
If you're not super happy with your employment, don't watch it.
And the thing is, I can't stress enough how talented of an artist the guy is.
Yeah, he's super talented.
But even so, like Jim Lee had to apply for a job. Do you know what I mean? Like this guy, just someone else filled out all the paperwork, and now he's where he is. You know?
Have you ever? Do good football comics exist? Like, is that a thing that like anyone's ever tried? Like
football comics?
Yeah. Like I'm sure there's like has to be because there are a lot of sports manga, you know. So it's there might even be an American football manga out there that exists.
If there is, I don't know about.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's like because of who it targets. I mean, the football player has always been more the villain of the comic.
Yeah, well, especially like a Silver Age.
Yeah, you know, like Spider-Man.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
You know, what's his name?
Flash.
Biff. Flash. Whatever.
Right. Yeah.
They're all
Same
the same
guy. So you had the Genesis version of Bill Walsh, and I played. So last night on Twitch, I played the Super Nintendo version, the Genesis version, and the Sega CD version. I tried all three of them, and I thought that the Sega CD version was going to be the best because it's fucking Sega CD. The audio was a lot better, but
That's
like
what I heard,
the game was like horrible. It was so slow. I mean, it was
There's like a lot of loading screens or something too.
well,
I think,
and even like the players, like it would just felt like they were moving a lot slower than they moved in like the Genesis version and the Super Nintendo version.
Like the players in Bill Walsh definitely move a little slower than other games, but faster than other. And it's hard to describe, but there's just it's almost like once you figure out the metrics of it, like it feels more real than a lot of the other games have felt at that time. Especially little things like, you know, the defense moves up. And then like the next year is when they made, like 95 had not the windows, but they tilted it down and you could see the whole field.
Yeah.
And things like that was like changed the games forever, you know, because it was so much better when they tilted the camera.
Yeah.
You know. And this is like right before they tilt. You could tell because the sprite started to get better.
Yes, there it is again. I love it. I honestly thought the Super Nintendo version was like the best of the three, and that really surprised me because Genesis, you know, is known for its sports games, and it's like the Genesis version was fine. It felt like it played kind of like the same way.
Yeah.
But the graphics, and this is like a personal preference kind of thing, I felt like on the Super Nintendo version, they were a little more cartoony. Like they had like black outlines around the players and stuff, which to me helped because it like, I mean, it helped me differentiate
They all kind
the
of
players.
clusterfuck in the middle, right? Like you snap and they all just kind of into the middle.
Well, it depends.
Some definition would probably help.
Yeah. And it's also like the Genesis version, like I don't like the sound was really bad. Like I was really surprised by that too. I mean, I know we kind of bag on Genesis sound, but it's like the sound was like really low.
Yeah, I can remember that. And I think it was like there was music playing over it that almost everybody turned off, and maybe that's why it was a little lower.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, I was never a gamer that, like, if someone asked me, how was the sound? I was like, I turned it up. I don't know.
Noises came out of the speaker. It worked.
Yeah, the volume was on. Yeah, it was great.
Well, and I mean, truly, especially at the time, it's like most people had either a Genesis or a Super Nintendo, and it's like as long as they were comparative, The versions were. It's like okay, all right, same game essentially.
There were differences between the two. Like the SNES had a season, and then like the Sega didn't.
Really, I didn't know that.
And I think that was just because they was like SNES actually came out later, like even '94. Like I think Sega came earlier. I could be wrong about this. That's just how I remember.
No, the Genesis came out earlier. Yeah.
And then like the screen was a little like they showed more on SNES, but supposedly they say the gameplay's smoother or something on Sega. For me, like I think I played both, and it's just which controller do you like is what I remember. I think if we went back in time, it would be me nonchalantly not caring and Tony arguing with me that was. That has kind of always been our attitude. But this was also a game that, like, I think it was. I mean, I haven't played it forever, and you tell me. I don't know if I saw you do this, but you could throw like bombs galore. Like there was a lot of
another football player, bombs galore.
Yeah.
Long passes.
Yeah. And there's even like one of the audibles set is a Hail Mary.
Yeah, and so what would happen a lot was it's the kind of game that like exists in the NFL too. You get two teams with two bad defenses, and it's who has the ball last. Do you know what I mean? And for whatever reason, Tony had the ball last a lot, and there would always be. This game was like great for last minute losses.
Yeah.
Of then two friends just like fighting and trying to figure out if you were really angry or not. And then my happiest memories is being like half-ass mad, like God damn it, and Tony just laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
Like. Tony probably didn't care about winning as much as me losing.
Well, that essentially, like, I didn't play a lot of sports games as a kid, but that was like fighting games for us.
Yeah.
Like, that is the same kind of like.
Which is the kind of thing. I mean, when I was at Tony's house, we played a lot of Street Fighter. That was the second game. I mean, it's right at it. We played a lot. And then there were games that Tony played by himself, which was just like any kind of RPG. I didn't even understand what it was. And then we played sports games with each other, and then would get bored and go play the actual sports outside, and then would ride four-wheelers because we were country kids. So it was a progression.
A pretty good childhood.
It wasn't bad,
but it's not too bad. So the important question is, when you guys would play Street Fighter, who would you typically play as?
I think I still like Ken.
Okay.
It was just
all
like
right.
a
Solid.
simple, yeah.
Solid. I can respect a Ken.
I didn't really like the sumo wrestler guy or what?
E Honda.
Yeah, or what is it? Jenga? Is it or, no,
Blanca?
Blanca.
Jenga's a tower
block game.
Yeah,
whatever. Just saw a great video of a dog
all those
playing
Brazilians sound the same. Like, I remember not liking those, but I mean, we played enough that at some point we played as everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tony played with Chun-Li a lot because
You'd pause it? I mean, come on.
I'm sure we both
Come on,
did.
you had to pause
we loved it. But like, Tony was like,
No, you jerk off, I'll play lookout.
Yeah.
Then we'll trade.
We didn't jerk off, but I mean, I told that story on here before where like Tony put his foot on the Super Nintendo Switch, and we both sat with the door closed and watched a video that was like the guy that's a doctor now taped a Playboy, tape, and it became one that every kid in Petenyville saw. And it was like blue neon or something like that. I can't remember. And like we sat in Tony's room, and anytime his mom would come and we'd hear footsteps or the door start to open, he'd just flip his foot and the Super Nintendo would kick on. Hopefully she never figured out, like, they're always just starting.
I'm a dad. I figure she probably didn't know. She's anything like me, I'd probably pop my head and be like, all right, that's a video game. All right, back to my shit.
Like, Tony was in a
you guys can jerk off, right?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care.
Quit being so gay about it. Just jerk it.
You don't even have to look at each other or nothing.
The tension is just too much. I can feel it in the kitchen.
So,
Super Nintendo was important to us, is what I'm saying.
Of course, to all of us.
It's the time that we sat alone quietly as teenagers with hard-ons and didn't tell each other.
Okay, so I used to talk about that with a friend in middle school, and I remember my dad being like, Don't talk about that. Because like I can't remember how it came up, but like maybe I was saying something he didn't want to hear, but he was like, "Don't talk about that."
Here's a stuffed raccoon. Tell it about your boners.
I think maybe he would just get you in the car, drive you down to the Catholic Church, have you tell a strange old man about your boners.
That was my mom, actually. He would take me to
The way the Lord wanted it.
he'd take me to his brother's funeral, where the pastor would tell us all that we're definitely going to hell, but my uncle's not. But all of us are. But my uncle's not. I remember leaving that funeral feeling sadder and way more scared than when I had entered.
Goal achieved.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a Southern funeral to me.
Yeah, it was a Mississippi funeral.
Yeah. It's you go in sad and you leave pretty sure you're going to burn in hell.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, important question.
Is Bill Walsh in hell? We don't know.
I know the answer to that.
Surely someone who won that many Super Bowls wouldn't go to hell.
He won a shitload of Super Bowls?
He was the coach of Joe Montana a lot.
Oh,
when he
I
won.
see.
I don't know. I don't think it was all the Super Bowls that Montana won with the 49ers, but it was like 3 or 4 of them.
Shit. So he was the coach of the 49ers?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Back when the 49ers were the shit, Bill Walsh
Back
was
when they
the
meant
coach.
something.
Yeah, I should have known that because I had the big puffy jacket.
The starter jacket.
Yeah, so I wouldn't get beat up. I should have known that the coach's name was Bill Walsh.
He started with Stanford in college, and then his NFL job was whatever I just said.
Okay, so important question. If Bill Walsh and John Madden were to get in a fight, who would have won? Like a bar fight, like dirty tricks and everything.
Probably Madden.
Madden?
Yeah, he was like Walsh was probably more of a old running back, and Madden was a lineman.
Okay, so it's based on their class.
Madden can
based
take a
on their-
broken ball to the gut.
Yeah, based on like one of them was probably is Madden's like over 6 foot and probably over 300 pounds now, and Bill Walsh is he barely weighs anything.
Corpse.
Yeah, a corpse. Exactly. So he's almost. He's just weighing less moment
Right,
to moment.
yeah. What if we hear me out? What if we found a necromancer to imbue his body
There's
with
no
dark
crafting
magic?
on this game.
That's a spellcasting
I
system.
don't
That's an
know.
entirely different thing. Maybe. Unless he's making them into golems.
What undead template are we applying to Bill Walsh today?
The Bill Walsh template.
If a college football coach could make golem football players, we would see no human beings on TV.
Well, they'd pay him the same amount.
We're getting closer every year.
When college football say "my precious," they're talking about like food.
Well, SNES Drunk said that, in his opinion, this was the best football game for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah?
So it's all down from here.
Yeah, I could see that. Like it
Yeah?
really was like before it was the first game that seemed a lot like football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like there were actually 11 players on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You started to be able to pick your receiver as opposed to point and arrow, shit like that. You could run an option, you could be all the teams. You had, if you were kids like me and Tony, I'm including Tony in this, I'm pretty sure it was that way. And then a lot of kids our age is like, so they couldn't tell you who the players were, but I knew who wide receiver number 1
The
for
numbers.
Notre Dame was.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
you know what I mean? So, and then they would have the attributes. So it was the first time we ever had that's Quadre Ishmael, which is another name for you. Rocket Ishmael from, Notre Dame was in this game.
So I was going to ask, Notre Dame is in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have all-star teams in the early game and not in the later one, I think.
They had, in the one that I played, I was actually going to ask when you're talking about numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
Whoever number 22 was on LSU 87 was like, all right.
Yeah, I see. And it was probably somebody, but I don't remember.
Anytime I get him the ball, I could do the Bo Jackson Tecmo Bowl
Which
shit, where it's
Bo
all right.
Jackson is in this game.
No shit?
Like if you find the best Auburn team, and then 34, it was Bo Jackson.
okay.
So you're just tearing people up. It really it had like, because of the All-Star game, it had your favorite player or the teams, or whatever you want to call it, like it would be like 88 South Bend or whatever. They had, like, they would have like some of your favorite players who are playing now. Like, I remember playing and like years, like even a year had went by and I knew that this guy that I was on this older 1-year-old game was Chris Zorich, was the jersey I was wearing. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
Which was a Bears player who played for Notre Dame from Chicago. So,
what do you call 4 Ishmael Hymens? Quadre Ishmael.
Ishmael Hyman.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We got because of this game, we got our first ever like on Twitter from an international gold badminton medalist.
Sweet.
Naturally.
So
you can't expect not to get heat when you're dealing with
Ask him on the show.
So shout out to Sukant Kadam. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I guess the reason that came to that is because an ad that Electronic Arts had run for the game was essentially, it had like, I guess 36 helmets, and the copy in the middle, the headline said, if you can't name all 36 of these teams, badminton is probably more your speed.
Yeah.
So when I tweeted out the stream, I was like, badminton is probably, or badminton for all, and then he liked it. So we have a strong ally in the badminton community. He's got a check mark and everything.
I cannot wait for the badminton podcast. TADPOG presents Badminton Weekly. It's going to be great.
Tadminton, it's going to be great.
So I looked at his profile, and then I...
If you guys can do a whole badminton podcast without laughing at shuttlecock, I'll give you $1.
When I looked at his profile, I was like, "Oh, this is not the badminton that I am familiar with." I mean, this looked like
it's not 4 kids just missing over and over again.
On a tiny, like a flimsy net that gets knocked over every 3 minutes.
It's like,
are the hot dogs ready yet?
the same thing that happens when you see Asians play ping pong for the first time. You're like, "Holy shit!" Turns out you could do this completely differently. Yeah.
Is this real? Yeah, I remember Forrest Gump, I guess, was my first real exposure to it.
Yeah.
I have watched badminton on TV in the Olympics, because that's like my thing with the Olympics is I always like to watch the stupidest shit.
No, wait a minute.
Now we have to defend badminton.
I can't help it.
We have an ally in the community.
I'll watch badminton, speed walking. Speed walking is my favorite.
Is that a real thing?
Real, yes.
That's real?
You get up at next time there's a Summer Olympics, or if there is one ever again. Get up about 3 a.m. and wait and find speed walking, and it is great. It is great. Look it up.
All right. Yeah, I will.
Because it's what you think it is.
There's a Malcolm
only
Middle
on an
about it,
Olympic
right?
level.
There's a Malcolm in the Middle episode about it?
Where Hal gets really into speed walking, and he wears the spandex and has a helmet that's more aerodynamic.
A helmet? Do they wear helmets?
He goes over the rules.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Like both your feet can't leave the ground at the same time. One has to always
Oh, I
be on
remember
the
that
ground.
episode now. Yeah, but specifically because of that rule.
Yep.
Yeah.
So speed walking and badminton are on the same level.
They're on the same level?
Yeah.
What about curling?
I kind of like it more, but it does seem like something we should be watching in the back of a bar. More than like at the Olympics.
It is
so
like
I will definitely watch it.
Is skee ball?
And like when you see them win, it's always like, you Canadians, you're so happy. It's just there's no bad there.
Do they typically win? I mean, I imagine they're probably pretty good at
it. I think they do pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, every host country gets to basically pick up 2 and drop 2 sports events at any given Olympics.
Really?
I think
like there's 2 they can opt out of.
There's 2 they can opt out of, and yeah, there's a whole big list, and you get to pick 2 to not have.
I don't know anything about the Olympics. Like, truly, like they don't have. This is gonna sound crazy. They don't have like Olympic football, do they?
No.
Okay. Why not? They have Olympic basketball, right? Like that's the thing.
I think it's just like too wear and tear kind of thing.
Gotcha.
It's like to play basketball, is there's less likely you'll break a leg.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
They all have universal health care, so they don't want to be paying more for all the injuries.
Right.
And I think
So here it's a
they're not
money-making
interested in it. Is probably another part of it, you know.
That's all we
Well,
got.
what else about this game?
Yeah. So
I tried, Dave. I watched you stream it, and I was just like,
Thank you. I appreciate
I do
that.
not know what's going on. I would have to really study football to understand. Dave looks like he's having a good time.
It was fun.
He's got Josh Edwards trying to talk him through some stuff. Him and Phil,
And, yeah, Shadow fan Sam was
Yep.
trying to help me too, and also trolling me and being like, "Play against Alabama. They're the worst." They were not the worst. They were really, really good.
very rarely are
Yeah.
Alabama the worst.
I should have known better.
There was a period like for 5 or 10 years they weren't that good because they got in so much trouble for like recruiting players.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was like 5 or 10 years they couldn't like be involved in bowl games and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Southerners have they forget about stuff, super easy. Oh, really? Did that happen? I don't remember it. I'm just playing.
what organization was Nathan Bedford Forrest in? I don't remember. I don't know.
Oh, do you guys remember when we had that fight? With those Northerners? That's Lindsey Graham.
Yes.
Sticking
It was
up for the
over.
Confederacy.
It was over states' rights. Oh yeah, I remember. It was totally over states' rights.
Yeah. The war of northern aggression to own people.
So did Alabama have to wait 4 years?
I think it was more than that. I can't even remember, but I can remember a period where like they would still have good seasons and it'd be like, doesn't matter, you're not going to a bowl game. Yeah.
Oh wait, so they still got the they
Yes.
played their seasons and
But they
just
just
couldn't
couldn't win anything.
Oh, I see.
And because of that, people wouldn't want to go.
You can
there.
jerk off, but
Yeah.
you can't come. 10 years.
Okay.
So, like,
10 years?
10
Never mind.
years.
Yeah, like I mean, it was after Bear Bryant, like the big Alabama.
I've
guy.
heard that name. Yeah.
I think in the South, if you haven't heard that, that's who they're showing on Forrest Gump with the hat, the coach.
Yeah, okay.
They're never saying that's who it is. But
Right.
that's Bear Bryant.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who was it? Was it Alabama this year who former football coach won the Senate seat? Took it from Doug Jones.
You're looking at the
Was it
wrong guy.
Alabama?
Yeah, look at
Tommy
him.
Tuberville.
Yeah.
Which is
Whatever.
like.
Whenever I saw football coach, I was like, "Oh shit, no
I'll
wonder we
tell
lost."
you what I told my friend from Alabama was like, "You silly bastards," which is like he's a football coach. The end. You don't have to elect a fucking football coach. Yeah, but we really like him down here. Yeah,
Better than a
okay.
Democrat.
Yeah, well, there is that.
I mean, but other than football coach, he has also been probably a color commentary. That's it.
Yeah.
He has no business, but it's like,
We elected a dog for mayor in this state just recently, so there's that.
It's a very cute dog.
He wasn't a coach or anything.
no. So I mean, it's just silly to me. It's like a whatever.
The versus Tony argument. It's whatever.
I mean, there's no talking to you. You know what? Bless your hearts.
Yeah.
I've been around you enough. That's what I'll say to you.
You take that back.
So did this game have a more expanded playlist?
Dude, the playlist was rough for me because it was like the number of delay of games I caused because I'm like trying to get through the fucking menu and it's like, oh my God, I don't know. There's so many plays.
And I can remember that being a problem. It really was a game that you had to get to know, especially because the window thing that it had in it, like not just being able to view the field, but 3 windows. Those
you mean
windows-
like when you're passing and you get like the 3 receivers?
Those windows only show so much, but if you're watching the play and you running it 3 or 4 times, you start to realize which guy's more open. Which is more like real football. Is there's a progression that you hear announcers talk about, and the progression is which receiver you're looking at. So it's like, this is my number 1 receiver. That means I'm going to throw to him first.
Gotcha.
Unless he's not open, then you progress.
So it's like your priority.
It's a hierarchy of who to look at because you have about 3.5 seconds tops. So you have to start here. And somebody like Bill Walsh is huge in that kind of progression kind of thing because he was really one of the creators of the West Coast offense, which is like high. It was the first like fast-paced, no-huddle offense that there were things called timing routes. So it was like a receiver would literally be counting to 3 and turning, and when he turned, the ball was
be there. So is it kind of like a muscle memory, like a rehearsed, like choreographed kind of thing?
It is more choreographed, definitely. Like and since then, it was so successful with Bill Walsh that there's coaches that, like, to this day, Andy Reid is connected to the West Coast offense, which is the Super Bowl winning coach of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay,
so West Coast offense still exists in the NFL today very much. It's just times move forward, but you can still see the echoes of it, and Bill Walsh was definitely a part of that. And like on a marketing level, from what I heard, it was just like, we have Madden, we're killing it money wise.
Yeah,
we have got to find another coach.
Yeah,
and then before they just went straight, like they didn't really need it, but that's like we got to go. Anybody that's worked in a corporate environment knows it's like, well, we did it one way and it worked. We're only going to do it that way
from here on out. So you might have already mentioned this, and I've already forgotten, but. Okay, so Bill Walsh was a coach for the 49ers in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Who did he coach in college?
Stanford Cardinal.
Okay. Because in the game, he coaches all the teams. I noticed. Because like when the team wins and they take a photograph with the Gatorade, he's there. How do you think the other coaches felt?
It's multiplicity. It's like the Keaton movie,
the copy of Bill Walsh.
Yeah, exactly. That's why some teams don't do as good.
Bill Walsh. No, this is Bill Walsh.
Boy, this
is Bill Welch. He likes jelly.
Bill Welch.
He likes jelly. Yeah, I mean, my memories are a little foggy of this game, which is funny because it was such a big part of what, like, me and Tony played it a lot, and it was those cards. I even called my mom. I was like, "Do you remember?" And she's like, "No, I don't remember." But I thought for sure she would, because I bet that woman picked up those cards a billion times, like almost every day for 20 years. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think she was maybe a little worried you were going to be like, "Do you have those?" And if she just admits that,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't remember those.
I'm almost sure she was always asking me if she could throw them away.
Yeah.
And then I was always getting mad because I was still even though I didn't know about myself, I was a collector type person.
Yeah, sure.
And my mom was the kind of person that's like, "Here, I bought you this collectible Wheaties box." I opened it and took the cereal out. So the bugs wouldn't get it.
Wait, you said that story you said that in a way that is something that actually happened.
No, that did happen.
That happened?
Yeah. And for these cards, I come back and she's got a real big rubber band around them. They're all bent and ripped. All right.
I left these in the sun for 20 years like you like them.
Which is like, I shouldn't give my mom shit because at least my dad probably didn't know I had the game. Does he live here?
Well, dude, that reminds me of 80% of the conversations that I have with Henry are, we can throw this box away. That's 80% of our conversations. Are you done with that box? No, that's my computer. Yeah, man, but it's just kind of you got 18 boxes in your room.
You just keep thinking about Golden Boy, how he attempts to program on a keyboard made of paper. So it's I guess he needs to keep it.
And then I remember me making an NES out of a cardboard box, and it's I can't be a super hypocrite and be get these fucking boxes out. But at the same time, it's if company comes over, which they're not going to anytime soon, which is great. But if they do, they'd be like, "Yeah, I got a lot of fucking boxes around here, don't you?"
I think my collector-ism or whatever is somewhere I was listening to you guys on the way here. I just hadn't had a chance to.
So sorry.
It was great. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I was able to put my pants on before I got here. I have a ritual.
We all do, as we all do.
No, but Tyler was talking about the hoarders. And I think that was not
Melissa's warm up.
That was not something I knew existed, but I still kind of did when I was a kid. Because growing up in a hillbilly type area, you're going to see a hoarder.
You see a hoarder's front yard.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was all, and my mom, I mean, straight up, I'm not going to say the name, but would just you're so and so, which was just you're a hoarder. You're just a hillbilly hoarder. My mom called me my friend's name as an insult for years.
And you have all these interesting stories about Tony, but you're talking to him about him as if like he, at one point in his life, he was a happy person. Was judging from all of his Facebook pictures, I just can't believe.
No, that's always the face he had. I think you could find, like, his baby picture. He's one of those, like, where we went to school. Like, I moved and met Tony the day I went to junior high in Petenville. It was in fifth grade. And, like, what were we talking about? Tony, like, his face was, like, from that point on, he was always just the.
He looks like he might have smelled a fart, but he's not sure. Just
he. What I was saying was that junior high, and when we graduated, like, for fun, which wasn't fun to me. Everybody got, like, you had to give the teacher a baby picture, and they put it in your yearbook.
Yeah,
like it was tied to the 8th grader that it was, and. Like most people, is like you connected the number, flip back, see who it was. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And Tony was like, "That's Tony. There's Tony right there." It's like
that baby looks a little miffed. That's Tony.
He might have smiled more than I don't know. No, he's always kept a pretty even keel.
There's a picture on Facebook I saw of like where he's holding all his kids, and there's just like. The barest smirk on his face. I was like, that's as close as you fucking get, Tony. I know it.
You know what is like the late Ted Evans, Tony's dad, is like, if Tony is what he is now and is just very, like, he might have a resting bitch face, but he is about 1,000 degrees more warm than his gruff dad. His dad was the gruffest man that I have ever met. And Tony would be like, yeah. I mean, when I say gruff, is like he would yell at you for slamming the door too hard, which you didn't do, and it would be like in the car, no big deal, but it would be, what did he say? Because it would, you're like, what the?
Sounds like my grandfather.
You know, like he always had like a cigarette hanging from his hand or his lip, and a lot of times he had a drink next to him, and he's would just be like. The funniest story that, like, to this day always makes my mom and dad laugh is Tony was a little kid. We were about 11 or 12, and Tony was a little more hyper than me when we were kids. I was way more like he is now when I was a kid, probably. And he was a little more loud and rambunctious and get a little more excited when I first met him, at least to me. And, like, we were once sitting there with his dad, and Tony turned to him and said, "Dad," and I saw the back of his head as he asked, "Dad, can you make me a ping pong table?" And his dad took a drag from his cigarette and said, "Poof, you're a ping pong table." And Tony looked back at me with that face that you describe now, and to some degree,
and it just stuck.
That face is my favorite face in the world, to some degree, because it was always like overexcited Tony just crushing life.
That's the ping pong table. That's what we'll call that face from here on.
Yeah. I mean, it's I mean, to this day, when I see a ping pong table, it makes me laugh.
Think about Tony's face, and I laugh.
Man, you doing the impression of Tony's dad, like, reminded me, like, it opened up a memory door to my grandfather, who was like, my dad's dad, like, always drunk, constantly drunk and angry. And like,
well, Tony's dad wasn't like that.
No. I'm not trying to draw that conclusion. But I'm just saying the voice reminded me, because like he's also like Louisiana man, and it's just like I remember being terrified going over to like see my grandmother and grandfather, because like I never had any idea what he was saying. He'd be like, "No, David, a milkshake," and there was always just one word at the end that I could understand. And then I had, like, I'm 5 years old. I'm trying to piece together.
Do I want one, or he's going to hit me with one, or?
He was talking about the aerobics that he was watching.
Something to do with like a cow jiggling? What do you call it? I don't know.
No, I wasn't trying to apply. It was just the voice, the gruffness that totally reminded me of that.
No. And I mean, there were definite moments. But Tony's dad was Chicago Polish, like, so back like 1940 Chicago, 1930 Chicago, a kid, a rough.
Chigolish.
Mm-hmm. And for those who don't know, there's a big Polish community in Chicago. So, Like he still spoke Polish, and then I think he had like one other language and stuff. So I mean, he was an interesting guy. You just had trouble getting through it because there would be moments like they opened a bait shop, and Ted would call me over and gave me like free like fishing stuff when I was a kid, and I was like, but when he called me over, I was scared to death. Do you know what I mean? Because it was like, Dennis, you're like, oh God, Jesus Christ, here's some free fish and stuff. Oh, okay, thanks. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
Like Elaine's dad.
Yeah. And it wasn't like he was a bad guy. It was just a serious guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Is Malort Polish? The liquor?
Maybe.
Jepson's Malort.
It might be. You know, I'm not 100% sure. It's gross.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you want some?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You want pine sol that'll get you drunk?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever actually drank it. Somebody tried to give me shit once about like, oh, you from Illinois, you don't even know what this is. I'm from Southern Illinois. Those are insanely different places.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I always try to emphasize, like, when someone who's not, like, super familiar with Kentucky, like, they're generally familiar with Kentucky, and by that I mean Eastern Kentucky, like, I'm always like, well, we're, like, just south of Illinois, like, where I live. Just it's like, it's a very long state. It's a very long, we're in the West, the far, far West.
And when I'm trying to describe to people how it's not as the political leanings are in Chicago, like, it's really close to Missouri.
Yeah.
At least where I am, you know.
Do you guys have any achievements for this game?
I have a couple that came in from Twitch chat. I've got first achievement that comes in from Just a Punk. Delay of fun. In order to unlock delay of fun, you play this game and attempt to do something, but continually get delay of game penalties until you smash the cartridge with your justified rage. I got a lot of delay of games penalties, like especially early on when it's just like, because that play clock is just counting down, and it's like, and they will let you choose a play too, which is kind of frustrating because it's damn it, why didn't you stop me? You know,
I can remember getting delay a game constantly because you don't have time really to look for a play.
You have to know,
and if you don't know, especially if you don't know, but even if you do, it's like, do I have time to get 3 down and 4 over? What if it's not there?
Right.
You know?
Which actually kind of leads into the second achievement that comes from Oddfellow Sam, and that is Pull a Dave. In order to unlock Pull a Dave, you jam it down the middle 12 plays in a row. Because that's what I started. It was just like, I know I can get to this play fast.
Don't worry about it. You're soon to be the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears.
And then,
you gotta do like Varsity Blues. You gotta hit the mascot with the football.
I don't want your life.
You will be terrible at it, but just as good as the last guy. You know?
And the third achievement I've got also comes from Oddfellow Sam, and I had to include this because the fucking name, Alabama Hot Pocket. In order to unlock Alabama Hot Pocket, trick a friend into playing against Alabama, which absolutely 100% totally happened to me. And I got crushed by Alabama playing as LSU 87. But to be fair, I also...
I mean, most of those players that Alabama had were all doped up and getting paid anyway on the game. So.
Did you guys have any achievements?
No. I still don't understand football. I'm understanding it. The more games we play, I'm understanding it less and less, and having a less of a desire to learn it.
I don't know, man. I feel like
love it.
I'm learning, like, and I think that's kind of interesting. Is each time I stream one of these games, I learn from chat, but I do start to get embarrassed. Like at the end, I was like, after playing on the 3 different systems, and like I think Time Lord Josh or Sam, someone was like, do a rollout, and I was like, I just powered it off. All right, this is too advanced for me. I'm gonna play Sonic 2 now.
It's, football.
No, Peppy, I'm not going to do a rollout.
It's just, it's like the military. There's just like a lot of jargon because there is so many moving parts. There's a lot of like, do the tutti frutti, and everybody knows what the fuck that is.
Right.
But like a rollout is just simply like when a quarterback hikes the ball and runs and
off
starts
of it.
to pass.
Yeah. And see, also like the thing is like, because this game felt really fast to me as far as like how we talked about with, the play time and all that.
Yeah.
It's just like, holy shit. Like I felt like it was go, go, go. And I feel like I didn't have a lot of time to even think about like what I was going to do because I just had to make decisions real fast. So it got really tough where it's like, and sometimes it'd be like, oh shit, it's fourth down. And it's like, I've got like a fucking passing play or some shit.
Which honestly is like, if you love football, you're like that it's a little bit like that.
Sure.
Because that is what football is too. Is there is I think the 24-second clock is like something that they don't do well on this game. That was the first time they probably had it. Like I don't really know for sure which game had the play clock first that was real, but it could very well be this one. And so it's like that play clock might start like when a ref after they've been in the huddle a while, blah, blah, blah. This was like, okay, the screen pops up, it's going.
It's going.
So it always feels like you're running onto the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's interesting because it didn't give me it's a very different feel from a Madden game in that regard, which is important to say because like this game is the Madden engine that has been it's just been altered. And I think that's what they would do. They already had a successful franchise, take that and then change it a little bit and then, release it as a different game. But it does it feels faster. It feels rushed.
Yeah.
Maybe if I knew football better.
And I mean, some of that just maybe adds to it. Like, I do think that these games, new Madden's not so much. Like, and maybe as soon as PlayStation entered the arena, became like you could play this one player. You could play this one player, and I did many times and enjoyed it. But it still was better with two players.
Yeah, sure.
And I can't say that necessarily now about Madden. Is like sometimes it's just more fun to play with a computer.
Yeah.
But like these games were definitely you and a buddy playing football. It was like as a kid, it's like wouldn't it be great to, especially a country kid, if we could go be the Sandlot and put a team together.
Right.
It was just us two, and we already talked about how we box with one set of gloves.
Right.
So I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
I've
think
been
we
there.
need to do. We did all kinds of stupid shit like that where we didn't have a dirt bike, so we ramped a moped. Which
Yeah.
you can imagine Tony's dad's response. Back then I thought, man, he's being so grouchy, and now I think that poor bastard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, any more questions?
I've got some questions.
Yeah.
I got a few questions. Normally I'd ask where are they now. I think we all know where electronic arts is now.
Unfortunately.
Ruling over the kingdom of heaven.
Fighting the forces of Bill Walsh every day from heaven. I want to know how much this game is. If you were to buy Bill Walsh College Football loose, how much do you think you would pay for it? And for the Super Nintendo specifically. Tyler, what do you think?
$10.
$10?
$10.
$7.50.
$7.50 from Dennis. Actual retail value of Bill Walsh College Football loose for the Super Nintendo, according to PriceCharting.com at the time of this recording, is $3. It is $3.
Wow.
Dennis, you sent me the link you sent me earlier today.
Can I borrow $1 from you guys?
Was complete in box for the Genesis, and I considered buying it because it was like $11 and then shipping, and it was like it had all the cards and everything.
Yeah. Like I thought of too, but I reached a point with like my sports memorabilia is where I got to a point where it's like, okay, this is getting insane. Like, and I don't have like too much.
No.
But like I have a lot of autographed baseballs, and I went to like places to get them and cool stuff like that. Well, there was a moment where it's like, man, they're selling Wrigley-filled benches pieces.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet.
How big a piece? Like,
But then I thought, what the fuck am I going to do with this? Am I just going to like sit it on my couch and sit on it every once in a while? You know? And at this,
That'd make an awesome porch swing.
if I had more disposable income, I would have definitely gotten it. I'm not trying to like shit on anybody for doing it, but it was just like, so that is definitely this where Bill Walsh is like awesome, and it'd be cool to have it, but then like, what the fuck am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we talked about the collector mentality earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely, I've got that, you know?
Yeah, I've been able to, like, I trick my mind into, like, you know, because the stuff I collect will maybe have more value.
Oh, yeah, it's going to appreciate in value. And it won't.
Yeah.
It will not.
Well, I mean, I have like 4 autographs from the World Series Cubs.
That will.
so
What
that's
I'm talking
something
about are these like complete in box like video games.
No,
like,
no, not the Bill Walsh
Right,
Sega Genesis
right.
game. I mean, it might go up someday, but probably
But then
not
it's going to go
tonight.
down really fast when everybody who cares about it dies. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the
that, or I mean, what if we don't have trees and we're looking for things to burn?
right.
It'll be worth so much.
breathe in the chemicals, kids.
Those cards, you can burn a little bit at a time. You
It'll
know.
last you.
Yeah.
I am curious if this game belongs on TADPOG's top 100 list of Super Nintendo games. Would you put it on TADPOG's list?
If it's truly the best football game in the Super Nintendo, then yeah, probably.
I don't think it is. I think the later Maddens are better.
Yeah.
I think like Madden 96, Madden 97.
I think whatever the top of whatever sport game in that sport.
I think people have like a hard on for it because like they stopped making college football games
Yeah.
for the longest time, and so there is kind of like an opening gap. But I think they're going to start up again because of like the stuff that's passed where they can pay players now.
Oh, they can't? I didn't know that passed.
It's like, you know, it's in that weird beginning phase of it.
Like, and give them extra spaghetti at lunch kind of deal. You get 4 extra meatballs. Have a good game.
Run faster, boy.
Good luck, Ishmael Hyman.
This isn't kosher.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
I've got a question for you. If you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
It would be a. I'm trying to think. I don't know think of many football players that have beards.
Ryan Fitzpatrick has the best beard in
There we
NFL.
go. Oh, Ryan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dennis.
And he's like a Harvard graduate.
He's not Irish, is he?
I don't know. No.
Yeah. The beard of
Jewish.
Orion Fitzpatrick.
I think he has one of the best beards.
What's it? Can you describe it?
It's just long. He
Yeah.
just grew it super long.
You're a
you know.
size queen for beards.
I am. I want them long and hard. I don't know how beards get
Attaboy.
hard. Yeah.
Attaboy.
Crusty.
My dad said not to talk about that, but we're gonna.
I just like something to warm my balls when I'm getting ready. Just a little sweater for my testicles. That's what that is.
Tyler.
That's how I like my women too. You know?
I see you are also a man of culture.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I would give it Does he wear sunglasses?
Ray Charles?
Have I seen
Absolutely.
Bill Belichick wear sunglasses?
No.
No. Then what's a coach that wears sunglasses a lot?
I mean, Bill Belichick might, but not a lot.
Who has sensitive eyes?
Probably like Jimmy Johnson probably wore
Jimmy
a lot of sunglasses.
Johnson.
He strikes.
He sounds vaguely
he played
familiar.
in a dome, but I'm sure when he was out in the sun, he's kind of a Hollywood type. You know?
Okay.
He does
there we
sound
go.
vaguely familiar.
He's on Fox Sports now, like in the mornings on Sunday.
Has he ever sold anything on TV?
Yeah, he actually sold boner pills.
That is okay.
Jimmy,
Like those bullshit boner pills too.
Oh, they didn't work?
I mean, I haven't tried them.
I bought a bunch of them. They better.
You know, like boner pills are like Wiccanism. If it worked, we'd all have it. You know what I mean? This makes your dick bigger. I think I would have heard of it.
Well, I saw the computer animated graphic where the penis got real big. So, I mean, I figured why not? Worth it.
Jimmy Johnson's Johnson enlarger. Yeah.
Was it? God,
They had like a NASCAR.
was it
or something.
Extends? Was that the name of it?
Yeah, it was. Extends.
okay.
All right.
Johnson
All right.
and
Just
Extends.
I didn't buy them. I just because I knew the name
Yeah,
of them.
sure, whatever. He was a coach at the University of Miami too, so like he won the championship there, I think. So in this game, Jimmy Johnson would have been coaching if Bill Walsh didn't bogart him.
And maybe all the coaches look the same. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of racist against coaches.
Against coaches.
This type of
Well,
people,
It's very coaches.
I'm sorry. I can't help it. I was,
I mean, honestly, that is how coaches used to look. The only difference is like they were just all white in a league full of black people. And nobody's like, is this bullshit? And then like before that, it was just same guy, only a hat.
Well, then maybe it wasn't Bill Walsh at the end of all the games where I saw the victorious team. That wasn't me.
Yeah. That wasn't. Bill Walsh was always coaching against you. I guess.
Yeah, that's the problem. Would you guys like to take a guess at how well this game is rated in the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library, 1991 through 1998 by Pat Contry, courtesy of Master Mold Mike? How many stars out of 5 do you
5
think?
slap bracelets.
5 slap bracelets?
3.
And 2 pogs. They gave it 3.5 stars.
I would have gave it 4,
Yeah?
but that's just because I liked it.
Yeah. Well, 3.5 is, that's a good score.
That's one of the higher ones we've seen, yeah.
And I was honestly, even though I wasn't good at the game, I was pleasantly surprised with it. Maybe that's because of the recent football games that we've played haven't been super good,
Yeah. Yeah, before Madden came along, there was a lot of shitty games. I tried them all because I wanted to find a good one.
Right.
I remember Joe Montana had a game on Sega that was just awful, where instead of like the windows, you would have an arrow that,
Like when you're passing.
and it would just move back and forth on the screen, and you would stop it.
Like a golf game kind of deal? Oh, my God.
Awful. Do you know what I mean? And it was like Tecmo Bowl-ish, only it was an overhead view.
Yeah.
That's not good.
It doesn't sound it. I'm not looking forward to. Have you played the Troy Aikman football game? I don't know if it came out on Genesis.
I'm pretty sure I did, but it was probably just at Tony's house or something.
Because I know we've got that to play coming up eventually when the randomizer chooses it.
I mean, what it comes down to is like they never did it better than Madden.
Yeah.
Like I think there were ones like Quarterback Club that had cool little that almost became like the side games, like where you would have like the arcade version would have the version where you were throwing at targets,
Like Quarterback Club 97 and like all that. Yeah.
Because I remember playing them even in the arcade, and then later it's like they combined that, and not even still, it's like they keep adding more and more to the Madden, the Madden. COVID.
I'm assuming you can
say the in front of
the Facebook.
I'm the Dennis. You're the TADPOG. That actually makes sense.
I'm assuming you can play the new Madden games online, right? Or
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. I mean, I know like FIFA is like a big thing to play online, so I assume that.
I've never been an online person because I'm not as friendly as Bill Burr. So, I mean, that's the best way I could put that. Anytime somebody's like, we could play online together, it's like, then we'd have to talk and stuff. Let's not do that. I want to like football. I don't want to like you. Then that's always like people, because they know I'm such a football fan. It's like, you going to a Super Bowl party? It's like, no, I like football. I'm not going to go because I want to watch the football.
Yeah. I don't go for an entirely different reason.
Yeah, I know. Because someone might tell you to roll out. And
You're right.
It's like get super offended. Like, he just told me to leave.
God damn it! All I want to do is masturbate at home.
Some guy said there was a bomb in there.
Do you have
Any more questions?
I do. I do. Would you like to hear those questions?
I would like to hear those questions.
You'd like to hear those?
Yeah, I would.
These questions
I would, yeah.
that came in from Ross Rachel Green?
Yeah. Any question? There you go, man. No question. I'm home.
Keep going, please.
Go ahead and guy over there across the palm both face. Question.
Thank you. That was just enough time. I have a quiz that came in from Ross Rachel Green entitled "Football is Stupid." Ross continues. Not just your stupid version, all football. There. That's my controversial statement out of the way.
So brave.
So brave. I took a week off. The official line is I wanted to do something. The official line is I wanted to do some decorating in the house. The real reason is that the new Xbox is out on the 10th, and I wanted a day alone with it selfishly. Of course, the wife decided to take it literally and has been making me decorate. We bought a heat gun to strip the paint off the old solid wood doors, a perk of a Victorian house, and I asked what she wanted to do. I was expecting to leave them unpainted or maybe a nice stain. She wants to paint them again. What a waste of time. Also, the dishwasher broke, and people are always going on about buying local to support our economy, so I thought I would do the nice thing of visiting a local shop to look at prices. After seeing the prices, I went online and bought one for a third of the price. I mean, that's essentially how I do it.
Yeah.
Books and stuff.
What was his name?
His Isle of Man, I think they got like sheep and stuff out there. It's probably just they got a sheep, like a Flintstone style. It's a living, like they got like a sheep under the sink. Anyway, here's a quiz where the first letter of each answer, when read together, spells foo football because it can fuck right off. Are you ready to begin? Mm-hmm. All right. First question. This F, despite its name, was not the last battle in Canada.
It's a game?
Supposedly.
It's not the last battle in Canada.
Was not the last battle in Canada. First?
Final Fantasy?
Final Fantasy? Locking it in. Final fight guy.
Okay.
Or Guy, I think that would be
Gotcha.
in Canada.
Yeah.
Next question. This U was responsible for the marriage rapture. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Locked in.
Oh, man.
And also with you.
And with your spirit?
Next question. This F is a Mode 7 racer that would have been infinitely better with a 2-player option. F-Zero.
F-Zero.
Locking it in. Yes. Next question. This O is a top-down shooter where you fight aliens. It's super generic, so all the initials are O:LB. There are a lot of hints there, but last battle is LB, last battle maybe. Obelisk, last battle. I don't know. Top-down shooter.
Obtuse.
Obtuse.
Obtuse battles.
Log obtuse battles.
O:LB.
Old Lemon Boys.
Perfect.
Locking it in.
Stand by.
It is Operation Logic Bomb.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
All right. Operation Logic Bomb.
Those words don't mean anything together.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
just woke a sleeper agent. I
Sounds
think.
like something Zach would have told us if he
Beavers
thought he
and
had a
ducks,
really good
you know.
comeback. About to operate Operation Logic Bomb on your ass, dude.
Next question. This O is a sequel to Operation Wolf and is compatible with both the SNES mouse and the Super Scope. Operation Wolf 2?
Yep.
Locking it in. It is Operation Thunderbolt.
Never heard of that.
Me neither. I'm excited if it's
Must be
compatible.
a secret operation.
Next question. This T is one of my favorite one-on-one fighters that star popular cartoon characters and had ports on the NES and Genesis. The Genesis one was the best. That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters.
Yep.
Looking it in. And it is. TMNT Tournament Fighters. Next. This B is the second in the Rushing Beat series of games, and in Japan is known as Rushing Beat Ran Fukusai Toshi.
Oh, okay.
It's like Rival Turf or something.
Rival Turf, I think, is the first one. This starts with B.
Super Mario.
It is Super Mario.
Fucking getting good at this. I know Sprite. I know crafting.
Dude, I can't tell you, like, when you said Sprite, it was just like, oh my God. Dennis listens to the show. I love it. I love it.
I mean, really, I just can't stop thinking about that huge 2-liter.
It's like Battle
something. If I were to think about it for a long time, I think I could
like
get
Battle
there.
Bros or Battle Brothers.
I was thinking
something
Battle
like
Bros. Let's lock in Battle Bros. Brawl Brothers.
Brawl Brothers.
Son of a bitch.
It's Battle Bros is the Kmart knockoff.
Man. Ugh, I feel bad that I didn't get that one. Next question. This A stars 3 cartoon characters who are zany to the max. It's the Animaniacs.
The Simpsons.
Yeah. Yeah, the Simpsons. Locking it in. Krusty's Funhouse. It is the Animaniacs. Next question. This L stars 3 Norsemen in a puzzle platform game. Lost Vikings. Simpsons.
Simpsons.
It is, in fact, Lost Vikings, the. And I guess the last question. This L was known in Japan as Ganbare Goemon, Yukihime Kyushutsu Imaki.
Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
I think it is. What did you say, Dennis?
Super Mario Brothers 2.
I think it is Legend of the Mystical Ninja. Yeah, totally. Locking it in. Legend of the Mystical Ninja, the.
That's
Well
what I
done,
said.
man.
I was just speaking about Italian ninjas.
I get it. No, I get it.
I mean, look at him jump. If Mario was on American Ninja Warrior, he'd be fucking great at it.
He would be really good. And I do have another question, and this is how it goes. Would you rather play a good game on a shitty, faulty TV with a bad picture and poor sound, or a bad game on an excellent TV with amazing quality and sound?
Good game on a shitty system.
Yeah.
So I played half of Borderlands 3 before I got my new computer.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Dennis?
Well, yeah, I'm with Tyler. As I'm just like I said, I didn't even notice sound. And to this day, is like it was like a revelation to me. It's like, oh, people notice the music. All right.
I would rather play a good game, but I would rather it be looking good and sounding good as well. Is that an acceptable answer?
Yeah.
I want it all.
Both.
I would
Yeah.
like all of it.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
Yeah, your options are shitty. So
I don't like that.
I want a good option. Ross says, I would go with the poor game because if a TV isn't working correctly, it drives me mad. Also, you have to pick one or the other, or a wild dog will come bite one of your testicles off. Well, in that case, I would rather
He's going to have to find it Ryan for Fitzpatrick's beard first.
in that case, I would, and if I'm streaming it for sure, I would rather play a poor game with excellent quality. So I'm with you, Ross, I guess, for now. Only because you threatened me with my testicles being ripped off by a dog.
A wild dog.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
Not a trained dog. Wild dog's just going to like snap till they get it.
Is that better or worse? Because it's
I
like,
think that's worse.
who trained this dog to take my balls?
A trained dog is going to just hone in on that nut real quick, but a wild dog's just going to snap around till they
Get it over. I feel like a wild
get
dog's
your
gonna
knee.
shake.
Yeah.
The guy
Yeah, it's
who
gonna be
owns
bad.
Chopper and like Stand By Me. Remember Chopper Sick Balls?
Yeah, sick balls.
Sick balls. So whoever owns that junkyard, that's who teaches.
Would you like to find out? Would you like to pray? Would you like to pray?
Oh, yeah, I would. I would actually. You ask me that all so often,
I
Dave.
do. I'm usually like, Tyler, I'm in time of trouble. Could you please,
please
pray
pray?
over me?
Well, I'm going to get this batter up peripheral over here. Put one end on the ground, my head on the other end, wild and crazy kid style, to point it on a whole random direction. Say the prayer. We all love to say. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop.
188.
That the D's?
The F's.
F's. That's a new one?
It is not.
Okay.
It is Final Fight.
Well,
It's technically listed separately, but would you like to do Final Fight Guy?
we could. We haven't done that.
Or we can roll again. There's also Final Fight 3, which we haven't done.
Let's do 3 and Guy.
You want to do Final Fight 3 and Final
Knock
Fight
them off
Guy?
the list. Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Okay,
All right.
you guys play a game of Bill Walsh and see who.
That's how we're going to settle everything on this podcast from here on out. We'll play a game of Bill Walsh.
Dave wins every argument automatically.
I don't know.
I'll walsh you for it.
I'll Walsh you for it.
The thing is those games aren't like, it's not like you have to know football to play Bill Walsh.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think it helps, but yeah, you don't
Yeah,
have to. It would be a slap fight. Like
Yeah.
Tyler and I playing Bill Walsh against each other. Would be like watching two 5-year-olds.
Hail
have a
Mary,
fight.
Hail Mary, Hail Mary, Hail Mary.
Jam middle. And I guess that's the show, man. Dennis,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on, dude. It was fun
Thanks for
hanging
having
out.
me. It's nice to get out of the house. I needed it. You know, I love my kids, but I have saw only them every day for months, and they're the greatest. I wouldn't pick anybody else to spend time with, but I'm just somebody who I enjoyed the drive alone. I'll say that.
Sure. I'm glad you made the drive, dude. It's always good to
That's
see
much
you.
appreciated.
I mean,
much.
It just feels so weird to drive without pants with them in the car. Now I'm on a long drive to the south. I can finally let it out, you know.
They'll get used to it, though. You just do it enough.
There's actually a famous judge where I'm from, famous from where I'm from.
Judge Reinhold?
He got caught multiple times driving naked.
Completely, dude.
Multiple times. And got caught by fucking school buses and shit.
Really?
And then just kept his job. It was just government at its worst. You know what I mean?
Was he jerking it? No, you're just naked. That's fine.
The last thing he got in trouble for, this is unbelievable, is he was with an underage prostitute, but he didn't know it, is what they said.
Lines up.
But before that, this dude had literally been caught, and he was a judge, a state judge.
I didn't know she was a prostitute. I just thought she was into it. I'm sorry.
He would just get butt ass naked, get in his car, and go driving around. You know? So when I joke about that, that's I'm only thinking about Roy Campanella or whatever the hell his name was.
I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum. This sounds like a good time.
Now I kind of want to do it just to see what it. No, I like my upholstery.
Yeah. No one needs shit streaks on their furniture, on their captions cheeks.
I'm gonna need to lay a towel down.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Next time, Final Fight 3 and Final Fight Guy. So until then, hey, we're on Facebook. TADPOG on Facebook. Episode announcements, memes. TADPOG Nation, if you're a fan, you like that dank meme shit, TADPOG Nation. But are you a good guy? I'm going to say guy, Final Fight guy. So good guy or girl that likes organized, nice chat. Well, that's the Discord. What's the link for that Discord?
It's bit.ly/TADPOG Discord. And if you're interested in playing Among Us on Thursday nights, GameBud Prime, Nate still has that going on Thursdays.
Sweet.
It's a lot of fun.
And let's see. If you want a shirt, shirts.tadpog.com.
Yeah.
We're on Twitter and Instagram at tadpog_podcast. Find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube. All our backlog, all on YouTube.
No, some of our backlog.
Some of it?
Our oldest. It's
Our
1 through
oldest,
350.
Yeah.
There's a chance you'll find CDs in the woods buried with pornography, but we can't guarantee.
I've buried them personally. I can guarantee at least 4.
That's you're out. You know how in Heat, they always have money and passports. Yours is just porn.
Just porn.
CDs.
Yeah. Just porn and more porn.
But most importantly, we got that Patreon. Pulling that up real quick.
Which we just did. I know I mentioned this earlier, but we just did a bonus episode with Usurper Grimm for Patreon that is on Command and Conquer. And
Which is another game that me and Tony played a lot.
Yeah, I remember.
lately.
I remember you mentioning that, and I remember Tony way back when we started this show. He was talking about
Tony
Command
come
and
from a
Conquer.
military family. His dad was military, a 40-year Navy guy, and I think 40 years, but a long time. And then his brother was also in the Navy, his older brother, when we were there. So there was a lot of, we loved the military strategy.
Yeah.
And all. And plus, if you know Tony, he was just probably happy to nuke someone. It was me. That's who he was happy to nuke.
We had a good conversation with Grimm about it. So if you're into this show, if you're into Command and Conquer, give us $1 on Patreon, and you not only get that episode, but you get all the things that we've done in the past. And Tyler's Call of Cthulhu game.
I was looking over, because you did such an amazing job editing it, our Sweegan movie
Oh,
casting.
thanks.
Because I watched half of that, where I was like, man, Dave did such a good job on this.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I put a lot into that.
It shows. It was like exactly what my mind's eye hoped it would be.
Yeah, good. It was all timing is what was the hardest part. Because I like try to line up because like beats and stuff and voices, trying to line up pictures with beats and stuff like that. So
no, it's perfect.
Cool.
I want to big thank you, big, huge up their donation substantially, Victor Hart. So he's making our executive producer list with that donation.
yeah,
now.
is it Victor the Hitman Hart? Is that
That's really good. I was thinking Count Victor Hart, but I like that better.
Count
He
Victor Hart?
sounds like an associate producer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like on the end
Victor
of
Hart.
Vic Hart.
Yeah, Vic Hart. Yeah.
But like dum Vic Hart.
Vic Hart.
You know?
I do like Victor the Hitman Hart, though.
Well, let's let him
Or
decide.
Detective Vic
Maybe.
Hart.
Detective Vic Hart? Captain Vic Hart? Like Captain Picard?
Captain Vic Hart. Man. Pitt, let us know, Victor.
This show was executive produced by the following Patreon donors. These are people who donate $20 or more a month. Thank you. It goes a super long way. We really appreciate it. And there are a lot of you, so fucking thank you. Usurper Grim, God Emperor Alex Pena, Cthusiast Jeff Miners, Cousin David Galino, Platinum member Brett Miller, Coronavirus Savior Cubicle Monkey, Zeus Laser, Steve Dixon, Joseph Phillips, Cody Phillips, Bantha Master, The Eightfold Daniel Abernathy, Plinko Nick Price, Executive Producer Dig Dougie, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Magical Sleeper, a.k.a. Big Dicked Pie Baker Chris Vaughn, Laud Mulaney Dennis, Pinball Archmage Chris Edler, congratulations on your marriage, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Drinksmith Joey Webster, Paul Anderson, Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link, and Victor Hart, Captain Vic Hart, Victor the Hitman Hart, etc.
Yep.
Vic, the associate producer of My Heart.
Well, our theme song is moved. Let's get more traveling with that track. Find that show notes at TADPOG.com. How do you guys want to close this one out?
Maybe how we think Bill Walsh sounds. Dennis knows.
I think I don't. I mean, I kind of remember him. He just sounded like a normal person.
On the Sega CD, I didn't mention this, but like on the Sega CD version of the game, there is this weird section in the game where you can just go to like, there's a menu where it's just like, it says something like training, and you go in there, and it's just a big menu where it's like, you can just, Bill Walsh will just talk to you about things. And
Really?
I watched that for a while. I was like, that's kind of interesting.
It's
Okay.
interesting, but it's like very boring because it's like just like black rectangle that his head, like his portrait is in, and he's just talking.
Like
and
his school photos talking to you.
They
Right.
really understood the hardware.
yeah.
What
for
if
sure.
we got a still image?
Right.
We just talk next to it.
Yeah, what if just his mouth moved? Would that be
Yeah.
okay?
Like Conan O'Brien, like it's cut out and moving.
Maybe if we didn't wait to the last minute, I think 2 hours is enough. I mean, that's, as a graphic designer, I'm guessing that's about how it works.
Yeah, it probably did.
To tie into Dennis's first story, you want to say it like the double dribble guys?
Oh yeah, that sounds good. I like that.
Okay. So until next time.
I'm not sure I have a stinger. I don't know. Do you want to do a dramatic reading or
I had a whole lot at the very beginning. We were talking about all the.
what were we talking about in the beginning?
I can't remember, but I thought, that'll be a good stinger.
Yeah,
I killed
Okay.
a guy.
got it. Hey, look, if we don't have
Boom!
if we don't have anything in the beginning, there it is.
I just wanted to feel like a god. I think I stole that from John Mulaney. I lasted the whole time before I mentioned John Mulaney, and now it's in the stinger.
It made it.
Yeah.
It made it.
Well, I mean, I was just in love with Bill Walsh, and I forgot about my new love, John Mulaney. You got to dance with the one who brought you. But I mean, there's like, I know that's from him because it was him and Nick Kroll, and it was like for Broadway.com. I've really watched everything. And it was like, tell us a little about yourself. My name's Nick Kroll, and I so-and-so. And John Mulaney said, I'm John Mulaney, and I killed a man because we wanted to feel like gods.
I love the SNL Ichabod Crane skit that you sent me that he was in.
Yeah.
The best line in that when they're talking about, Ichabod or the headless horseman using the head to like suck his own dick.
Yeah.
The best line in that is like when they're talking about why they do it and like, oh, for me it's power. That is the best.
What? Maybe my favorite line from Big Mouth is just the fucking degradation.
The sheer degradation.
God, Big Mouth is so good. So fucking good.
Yeah, totally.
And a new season's supposed to be before the end of the year.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
I'm excited for that. I'm glad we could turn this into the John Mulaney podcast finally.
Look, man, I'm all about it. Just jealous of the man.
I just wish he would have grew up next to me. That's all I. Tony,
You are no John Mulaney, sir.
But who is? That's why I've got. That's where my jealousy is deep rooted.
I mean, the thing that Dave always talks about, like, kind of turns him off, is like when he hears that he went and met Bill Clinton, and like both his parents are lawyers, and I think that's what made him though. Is like he's such a weird fucking way to grow up.
Yeah,
and it made him interesting.
Yeah, Yeah, no, for sure. I guess I just kind of like, I don't know. I like my comedians to be like relatably poor. You know what I mean?
You want him to grow up in a whorehouse in Peoria?
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, two great Illinois comics. One's from a whorehouse in Peoria, East Peoria maybe, and then John Mulaney's from he lived downtown Chicago. He didn't live in the burbs.
Yeah.
He was like and like his grandmother like knew the guy who fucking did gerrymandering.
Really?
Like, she corrected him on it. I saw this on a Seth Meyers episode where he's like, oh, gerrymandering, it's Gary-mandering. So-and-so Gary. I knew him back in so-and-so. Like, holy shit.
Is that the same grandmother? If you weren't famous, I wouldn't know who you are.
And since then, I seen him on Seth Meyers again, and he said that really all my stand-up, I've just been doing my grandmother.
Yeah.
Which is super interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting as hell.
Because his grandmother must be the funniest motherfucker on earth, which that story he told was. Anyone who hasn't checked it out, just like SNL, YouTube, like the monologue, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the monologue. And I fucked it up even. It's like, if you weren't my grandson, I wouldn't know who you were.
Yeah. But I mean, there's such a setup and stuff.
It's great. That monologue is great. And dude, like, I know we're done, and this is like total long stinger, but like fucking Chappelle on SNL was amazing.
Yeah, he always is.
He is, man.
Look at Pete Davidson's lips, really.
I know. But like, and like introducing
I like that too.
Introducing that sketch, like he would introduce a sketch on the Chappelle show, was like, that is really cool, because it's like that they let him do that and that he did that.
Yeah,
I thought that was really neat. And that first sketch being like, I don't know who wrote that, but like that felt like a Chappelle show sketch. The firing of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben. And that Pete Davidson's lips, man, like that fucking cracked my shit up, dude.
I also just like him not being able to do like the voice, the deep voice is pretty funny.